We're venturing deep into the wilderness, but this time it's a different beast we're tackling. Forget lions and tigers and bears, oh my. This time it's all about surviving a zombie apocalypse. Imagine a world overrun by the undead, streets swarming with decaying corpses hungry for living flesh. It sounds straight out of a horror film, but trust me, this is about being prepared for any situation, even the most extreme. The key to surviving any life or death scenario is preparation, and the zombie apocalypse is no different. We'll cover everything you need to know, from understanding the science behind the zombie virus to building a sustainable life amidst the chaos. Your survival instincts will be put to the test, your courage challenged at every turn. But remember, the human will is an incredible force. We're talking about arming yourself with the knowledge and skills to outsmart the undead and stay alive. This is about fighting for every breath, every step, every moment of survival. We'll navigate the treacherous terrain of a world gone mad where danger lurks around every corner. So buckle up, get ready to learn, and most importantly, stay alert. This is Zombie Survival 101, and by the end, you'll be well on your way to becoming a true survivor. Remember, in a world overrun by zombies, the line between living and becoming one of them is razor thin. Let's make sure you stay on the right side of that line. Before you can fight the undead, you need to understand what you're up against. The zombie virus, a terrifying blend of science fiction and our worst nightmares. We need to know how it works, how it spreads, and most importantly, how to avoid it. Knowledge, my friends, is as crucial as any weapon in your arsenal. Now, the exact origins of the virus might be shrouded in mystery, but one thing is certain, it's highly contagious. It could be a government experiment gone wrong, a bizarre natural phenomenon, or even an ancient curse. Whatever the source, the result is the same, a horde of relentless, flesh-eating monsters. Think of it like a super rabies, spreading through bites, scratches, or even contact with infected fluids. Once inside a living host, the virus takes hold, twisting the body and mind into a grotesque mockery of life. The infected lose their humanity, driven by a single primal urge to feed. But don't lose hope. Understanding the enemy is the first step in defeating it. We'll learn how to identify the early signs of infection, how to protect yourself from becoming infected, and what to do if you encounter a zombie in close quarters. Remember, knowledge is power, and in this case, it could be the difference between life and death. We've talked about the virus, now let's talk survival. In a world gone to chaos, the right gear can be the difference between living and becoming zombie chow. We're not talking about fancy gadgets here. We're talking about the essentials, the tools and supplies you'll need to stay alive in a world without rules. First things first, water is life. You can go without food for days, even weeks, but dehydration will take you down much faster. A good rule of thumb is to have at least 1 gallon of water per person per day. And remember, water sources might be contaminated, so we'll discuss purification methods later on. Food is next on the list. Forget about your takeaways and gourmet meals. We're talking about long-lasting, calorie-dense rations. Think canned goods, protein bars, dried fruits, and nuts. Anything that can survive for months without refrigeration and provide you with the energy to keep going. And let's not forget about shelter and warmth. A sturdy backpack, a waterproof tarp, a good sleeping bag. These are your new best friends. The elements can be as unforgiving as the undead, so you need to be prepared for whatever Mother Nature throws your way. Right, so you've got your wits about you, you've got your supplies, now you need a base camp. Remember, this isn't a holiday home, it's your fortress against the hungry hordes. Ideally, you want something isolated, difficult to reach. Think Alcatraz, but with less chance of getting eaten alive. Look for natural barriers, cliffs, rivers, anything that'll make those brain munchers work harder to reach you. A multi-story building with clear lines of sight makes a good fallback option. Remember, you need to be able to see them coming. Once you've found your spot, you need to fortify. Reinforce doors, windows, any potential weak points. Barbed wire, nails, anything that'll slow those flesh eaters down is your new best friend. Trust me, a well-placed tripwire can make all the difference. And remember, this isn't just about keeping the undead out, it's about long-term survival. Is there a water source nearby? Can you create a sustainable food supply? Think like a medieval king under siege, but instead of knights, you've got zombies. And no, they won't accept a surrender. We humans are social animals, hardwired to work together. That instinct becomes even more important when the dead are trying to eat you. Going solo might seem tempting, but trust me, in a zombie apocalypse, a lone wolf is usually a dead wolf. Look for people with diverse skills. Got a doctor in your group? You've hit the jackpot. Mechanic? Even better. Someone who can cook a decent meal over an open fire? Sign them up. Remember, skills equal survival. But just as important as skills is temperament. You need people who are calm under pressure, people you can trust when the proverbial hits the fan. Avoid panickers, avoid glory seekers. They'll get you killed quicker than you can say brains. Establish clear roles and responsibilities from the get-go. Who's on watch duty? Who's foraging for supplies? Who's patching up the wounded? Remember, a well-organized group is a strong group, and a strong group is more likely to see the dawn. Alright, let's be honest. When the undead are at your door, you're going to want more than harsh language and a stiff upper lip. You need to fight back, and that means weapons. Guns might be your first thought, but remember, ammo runs out, silence is golden, and sometimes good old-fashioned ingenuity is your best bet. Scavenge everything you can. Crowbars, baseball bats, kitchen knives, even a sturdy piece of wood can become a lifesaver in the right hands. Get creative. Improvise. Remember, a zombie's biggest weakness is its lack of imagination. Yours, however, is limitless. Remember, aim for the head. It's the only way to be sure. A zombie bite is a one-way ticket to the Undead Club, and trust me, you don't want to be a member. Practice your aim, get used to the weight of your weapon, become one with your inner warrior. And don't forget about armor. Thick clothing, layers of padding, even a motorbike helmet can provide crucial protection against bites and scratches. Remember, every little bit helps when you're fighting for your life. We've secured our perimeter, we've got our crew, now we need to think about the essentials. And in a zombie apocalypse, nothing is more essential than food and water. Remember, surviving isn't just about fighting off the undead, it's about outlasting them, and that needs proper sustenance. Our first port of call is scavenging. Urban areas might seem desolate, but they're teeming with hidden resources if you know where to look. Abandoned supermarkets, homes, even convenience stores can be gold mines. Canned goods, long-life foods, bottled water, these are your lifeline in the early days. But remember, every scavenging mission is a calculated risk. Zombies aren't the only threat. Other survivors, desperation, and the elements can be just as deadly. Always be aware of your surroundings, travel light, and be prepared to move quickly if danger rears its ugly head. Trust your gut. If a place feels too risky, it probably is. There's no shame in retreating and living to fight another day. We're in this for the long haul, and sometimes that means prioritizing safety over a potential score. We've battled the elements, we've faced down predators, but nothing compares to the mental grit needed to survive a zombie apocalypse. This isn't just about physical strength, it's about mental resilience. Out here, your mind is your most powerful tool. The constant threat of the undead, the loss of loved ones, the uncertainty of the future, it can break even the strongest spirit. But remember, we're survivors. We adapt, we overcome, we endure. Maintaining your mental health is as crucial as finding food and shelter. It's about finding that inner fire, that will to live, that keeps you going when everything seems lost. So how do we do it? We dig deep, we find our inner strength, and we never ever give up. We owe it to ourselves and to the future of humanity. We've learned to scavenge for supplies, fortify shelters, and fight off the undead. We've adapted to this new reality, but surviving day to day isn't enough. We need to think long-term, to rebuild, to create a future beyond this nightmare. That means securing a sustainable food source, whether it's through farming, fishing, or hunting. We need to master new skills, rediscover old ones, and use our ingenuity to adapt to this changed world. Remember those survival guides we used to laugh at? Time to put them into practice. Learn to identify edible plants, purify water, and even build basic structures. Knowledge is power, and in this new world, it's the key to survival. This isn't about just existing. It's about thriving. It's about building a new society, one that learns from the mistakes of the past and creates a brighter future. We've covered a lot of ground, haven't we? From understanding the enemy to mastering the skills needed to survive and rebuild. Remember, this isn't the end. It's just the beginning. The zombie apocalypse tests us in ways we never imagined, pushing us to our physical and mental limits. But it also reveals the strength within us, the resilience of the human spirit. Remember, hope is your strongest ally in a zombie apocalypse. Stay prepared, adaptable, and united to increase your survival chances. Never give up hope. It keeps humanity alive in the darkest times. Stay strong, stay vigilant, and most importantly, never give up. Because out here, every sunrise is a victory.